Welcome to Joy News Interactive, and straight away, let me just give you our social media handles to get in touch with us and to comment on our posts. You can go onto Facebook. It's Joy News on TV, facebook.com/Joy News on TV, and also on Twitter. You can find us there, Joy News on TV. Now, let's get to the issues. We're going to show you this video in a bit, and we're going to be asking you, was the security man or was the bodyguard doing his job, or probably he just overreacted? Let's get to watch this. And Pastor Mensah Otabil sermon at Greater Works is generating discussions on social media. He said, "We're going millions and billions for glory. We make no apology whatsoever for the one who deserves the highest resource is the one who created all the resource." We'll get into that shortly. When you comment, try not to blaspheme. Now to this video that has gone viral. An old man tried high-fiving the president, but he was greeted with stiff force. Right, so social media is going crazy over this video. Some are appalled while others are arguing that the bodyguard was just doing his job. Where do you stand?
The thing is this, I mean, that's the president, that's the head of state. He's the most important person in the country. What sense would it make? Whether or not he looks threatening, you can't say what threat he had. He could have been armed, it could have been anything. I mean, yes, we tend to let cultural things interfere, but the man was just doing his job, in my opinion.
He was overreacted.
Why?
Simple, because maybe if somebody is coming to you, are a leader, and you have a guy, somebody is coming close to you, at least you hold the person. You're not supposed to push the person down.
He was doing his job. I mean, he's supposed to protect the president, so he was doing his job. Yeah, that's what I think. What if he had done something to the president? So he was doing his job. I mean, he did perfectly well. Yeah.
So it's almost unanimous. Everybody is saying that he was doing his job. Let's get onto Facebook and see if the people on Facebook also agree. Too Sweet says, "I'm 100% NDC, no doubt about that. You can go through my pics and testify. However, I totally salute the bodyguard for doing a great job. The president should always be protected. Bodyguard did his job, that's all." There's 7 replies. Let's get into the replies and see if people arguing, disagreeing with him. But there are 46 reactions to this one. Ajojan says, "I share your view." Seth says, "Thanks, man." Prince in Nipa says, I used to remember those days when the president used to sit down and eat with common people. But right now, because the power is in his hand, so they can knock down even those who voted for him, and he doesn't feel any sympathy." Lawrence Appiah says, "Nobody cares if you NDC 2,000%. The bodyguard overreacted." Baba Mohammed says, "The president should prevent from handshake," or what are you saying? If it's your father or family, will you say that? Okay, your father is reading Fader here. Alaji Rank says, "I pray one day that those who supported the bodyguard would be disgraced, or your parents shall be disgraced in the same manner." And okay, so somebody else comes, post something, probably of the of former President John Mahama interacting with people. Okay, and he says the difference is clear. All right, Mustafa Yakubu says the president's bodyguard could have used a better way of saving the situation than his killer's punch. It's about time we recruit people with brains into the security services to the neglect of stature. This is a complete affirmation of the super incompetent tag on the president. He has 5 replies there. Henry Youngson says, "How can you go towards the president as if he were your playmate? How could anyone know what could happen? Bodyguard, great work." And he also has 43 reactions and 15 replies. And let's get into some of the replies there. So Abedu says, so do we need a playmate before we can make friends? Richard says, Abedu Isaac, no, but then there is a limit you can go. Emperor says, Lord, when he was aspiring to be president, the same people were moving toward him. It's not the right thing the bodyguard did, trust me. And Henry Yangsing says, Charlie, we they take things joke too much in this country. If something happens to the president, do you know the cost to the state? Benjamin says, Henry Yangsing, Master, there is no cost to the state. Why are you rejecting the truth? Even Jesus Christ that we call every day is even touched by blind people. All right, moving to the next issue. The church owes nobody an apology for how it uses its money. That was a sermon that caught fire.
If people can pay $150 million for somebody to run after inflated leather, and everybody thinks that's a good deal, just to kick around inflated leather, which does not solve anybody's problem. You just scream, go, that's all you get. But here when you say amen, we don't just say go, miracles happen, lives are turned around. And you tell us that we don't deserve and we don't have to spend for this God and for the service of this God. Are you joking? The church owes nobody an apology for how it uses its money. It's God's money and we will use it for his glory. So if you want to write the 1 million check, dollar, not CD, dollar, I humbly receive it.
All right, so what are your reactions to this? We went out there onto the streets to ask you.
Whatever comes to the house of God has to be spent within the house of God, and the glory must be given to God. At the church, they do pray for people, they do healing, they do miracle works, and when money comes, it has to be spent on God, on the things of God. Expenditures are made outside the church that are frivolous. Nobody talks about it. When the church money comes, it has to be spent on the things of God. And for that one, he owes no apology to anybody. I don't think it's out of place.
What he said, to me, he's in the right context of what he was saying. He was preaching, and then he was doing an example of what other monies have spent outside there. If you can use $150 just to say, go, supporting a player or supporting a team, and the same kind of money will be paid to the church for the church to be used it for the right, for the help of other people that has come to benefit from it, like the, miracles and healings and other things. The church has the right to use the money anyhow they want it, for the benefit of the church, actually.
The church actually has the right to spend the money the way it wants to spend it for the benefit of every member of the church. The context in which he spoke, actually he was not out of context when he said that, because he was saying that, people out there, the people also spend money on other things, but if you come and give that money to the church and it spends for worthy causes, it is a blessing to the person who even gives the money, and it even helps the person in whatever the person is doing elsewhere. So in that context, I don't think he was wrong at all. When any money that is given to the church and is spent in a worthwhile way, it helps everybody, unless the members of course, are maybe agitating or complaining that the monies are not being used for the purposes for which.
Especially churches of that magnitude. They owe a lot, from social responsibility in making sure that wherever they are, their surroundings. I mean, if they didn't owe anything, how come he didn't keep his church in the dirty, that place, what's it called, Bible Sokai? Why didn't he keep it dirty? Why did he clean it up? Why did he make sure that, those around there were well situated so they wouldn't interrupt with the services? I mean, as being part of the community, once you are within the community, you do owe it to that community that you're in. Social responsibility, amongst other things. I don't want to talk about the financial piece, but I think, and I agree, churches should be taxed.
We're getting onto Facebook. Tata Ford Ministries says, yes, the church owes nobody an apology for how it uses its money. This man has sacrificed a lot for the church. God bless you, Papa. There are 5 replies. I'm interested in the replies, as always. Let's get to see what you're saying in there. And Nitaki says, shaking my head. August, and Kofi, is he your Papa? And Tata comes back and says, don't judge a person by the outcome you see today, but judge a person by the seeds which he has planted. The man has been in ministry for years. Do you know the sacrifices he has made? Ministry is not an easy thing. Kofi Kennedy comes back, Tata Ford Ministries. What ministry? To take people's money. Ghanaians' eyes are opening gradually. He collapsed the whole bank. Okay, let's move on. Sita Sai says, it owes the giver of tithes and people will surely account for the misappropriation. Ike says the funky dollar virus has infected Ghanaian pastors too. He doesn't even want CDs. This one you've written, I don't get it. Yao says, smart man, God bless you. And Ernest says, really, nobody, including your own members? I believe then the church has no accountant. And if it has, who does he account to? To Pastor Otabil? So he demands how monies had been put to use, but nobody can demand same from the church.